Okay.
So I'm Sean.
Okay, I'm Gabby.
I'm Gabrielle.
I'm Paul.
Cool. Alright. So I think the first thing we should do is figure out who wants to be a facilitator, and a recorder, and a timekeeper, and yeah.
I guess you kind of already have the timekeeping.
Okay, great.
So
I can take notes on the computer.
facilitate, I
Okay.
guess.
I don't know.
Alright, I'll think of something.
Okay, cool. So,
Okay, so
this is the sheet. Yeah.
okay, so general education. Um, So basically, like, there's two viewpoints, right? There's the viewpoint that, general education should be, pretty much exactly what it says, general education, where you just take general classes, whether they're related to anything that you care about doing in your life or not. And then the kind of newer viewpoint is that they should be more relevant to what you're studying, what you're hoping to do with your career, so that you can actually extract some value from them and apply them to what you plan on doing later in your life. So that is basically the two viewpoints for this, I think, right? And obviously there are many reasons for or against both of those options. So, yeah. Has anyone kind of have any personal stories about general education and whether you've had really good experiences with any of your classes, or
I mean, I
not
think
so much?
it's kind of hit or miss. Like, one class could be really interesting or really hard or really easy. I mean,
Right.
it's kind of up to the teacher and
Yeah.
what major you are.
Okay. Any examples in particular?
My Stat 200 class.
Okay.
Like, all the teachers are just terrible. Like,
What is your major?
I'm IST major, so that's required.
Right.
Yeah.
I know.
But-
Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm done.
I know for my major, engineering, that when I take classes, it's a lot of the time I don't have an option. So it is nice to be able to choose some of your classes with general education,
Right.
but at the same time, some of the options are, like, I had to take art history last semester. I hate art, I hate history, and I hate art history, so it was pretty painful.
So taking it didn't help
Yeah,
broaden
really.
your understanding or anything?
No,
or
it
gain-
was just
gain
a
better
painful 8
appreciation?
a.m.
No.
Yeah, like, I'm in the same situation. I have to take astronomy next semester. I have no interest in astronomy. Like, I'm just taking it to fulfill the requirement, so it's kind of like, why am I doing this?
Some of the classes are just like really stupid. And the only reason why I'm kind of for general education, just because I was going to go to a liberal arts school and like that's all gen eds. But it also helps, so like if you want to study abroad, like you take the courses that you really want at like a good university, and then you take all the classes that are just like pretty easy while you study abroad. So it's like if you're minoring in something, or if you haven't gotten any gen eds done, it's like, I know it's hard for science majors, and I'm sure it's also for engineers, like other majors. It's hard to study abroad, so like by doing the gen eds, you're able to experience something else in like another country. So that's the only reason why I like gen eds.
Right, I guess it provides an option to kind of do just a variety of different classes, whether
Yeah.
they're fulfilled here or some other university or some other campus in another country. Just kind of a lot of different ways that you can make, that you can take those classes and get the required credits.
Yeah. Have you had
Okay,
any bad
cool.
ones?
I mean, I haven't really liked most of them. I also had to take art history. I took in art, the online one, and I thought it was going to be really easy, and it wasn't really easy, and it was so much reading, and I didn't want to read about it very much.
That's the thing too, like, I feel like they make them harder than they should be.
Yeah.
And then you're just hate it even more.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely.
That's like, that's like kind of what I look for in gen ed. Like, as bad as it sounds, like, I just want an A.
Mhm.
Because my major classes are, like, gonna be harder, and, like, these are the ones I want to focus on, so
Right.
they're kind of like a GPA booster.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
So-
exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe too much emphasis is placed on GPA, but that's
Yeah.
Especially for engineering, like all my
Oh,
friends
yeah.
were engineering. I was in engineering last year, like I actually switched, and like I know like a bunch of my friends got C's in like the engineering classes, and then GPAs were just like a good way to like get your GPA above 3.0. So it's kind of like
Yeah.
they're just kind of there.
Yeah. I think it might also be helpful if we go through like what Penn State requires for the gen eds.
Yeah, definitely.
Because, yeah.
Because
It's 45 credits,
right?
yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, so it's 45 credits of gen eds, and it's like broken up into two categories. It's skills, you need 15 credits of that, and those are like your GQ or GWS, like on your transcript. And then those are supposed to help with quantitative and communication skills. And then there's 30 credits of knowledge domains, which is supposed to give you like a broad overview of the world. And that includes like health and physical activity, natural science courses, arts, humanities, and then social and behavioral sciences. And then you also have to take like 4 additional classes. Yeah, the first year seminar, which is supposed to introduce students to Penn State, like the scholarly community here. There's the United States and International Cultures, that's 2 classes, but they're both supposed to increase your understanding of the relationship between people of different cultures and widen international perspectives. And then you have to take a 3-credit writing across the curriculum. And then those are your general requirements. And then without completing those, you can't graduate, which I think is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if they require them, it makes sense, but
Yeah.
I don't know, it's pretty, I guess it's pretty rigorous.
Mm.
Especially because most of the people, I mean, like we said, are only taking them to get an A, kind of. They don't
Yeah.
really have any interest in what they're taking, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
But kind of the truth. At least that's how I approach a lot of them. Some of them, like the more knowledge-based ones and stuff, that category, I guess. I took like sociology and psychology. I'm a chemistry major. I want to go to med school, and I thought that would be like useful a little bit in preparing for like MCATs and stuff like that. So that's
Yeah.
a little more of my
I
personal
think
experience.
Penn State's kind of role in like with the gen eds is just kind of make more well-rounded students. Like they don't just want like cookie cutter students. They want
Right.
at least some variety, and like I guess they want a job like when students go for a job, they want to see like I guess job. The companies want to see like more well-rounded student. That's
Yeah.
like a plus. So.
Mhm.
And you may be able to, find something else that you enjoy in taking gen eds, and it might like
Yeah.
alter, your perception on something, and then make you want to pursue that instead. So
Yeah.
there may be, there's maybe room to kind of diversify and change your whole outlook.
Mhm.
Maybe. I don't think any of us have had that
Yeah.
experience, but maybe someone
Well,
sometime has.
Actually, I took a philosophy course, and I thought I wanted to minor in philosophy, which is really weird, because I'm
Okay.
majoring in science. But all my other ones were, like the first year one, that one was just like, I got a water bottle out of it, and that was pretty much the extent of mine.
Worth it.
Yeah, it was. I have it in my bag right now, actually. It's really
I
nice.
kind of have like the opposite experience. Like
Oh, really?
no, because like I'm not saying gen is good, but like I was here for the summer session.
Mhm.
Like I'm a sophomore, so a year and a half ago, and I took like chemistry, like because I was an engineering major, and I took an SRA course, and like I had no idea what it was. I just kind of took it because like I needed another class,
Mhm.
and actually like led me to switch, like to find like IST, because like I was like, I really enjoy this,
Yeah.
and not so much engineering. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I took an economics course, and I almost actually changed over from
Yeah.
engineering to economics. I didn't, but it still like made me realize that I liked it. And
Yeah.
I took another class for it just because I liked it. so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I wanted to be an English minor for a while until I realized I can't read really fast enough to read 3 books in a week.
Oh, wow.
So that was the biggest problem, but
Yeah.
and
And
yeah, I guess it's good that we. What were you
No,
saying?
no. It was-
I was just gonna say I guess it's good that like we actually have had decent experiences
Yeah.
with some of these
Yeah.
classes.
And I think it might be different for like non-STEM majors, I feel like, because
Yeah.
for us, gen eds, well, yeah, are like easier, but for some of like the like other majors, I know that like a lot of people struggle with Stat 200. Like some people have to take, Bio 110, like all of these courses they don't really like, but like.
Yeah, like for some, no, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, I'm
sorry.
done actually.
Yeah, like you were saying, like some majors, like these might be like gen eds might be like the harder courses.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
they might be the course just like kind of get them like out of the way because they're harder and like yeah, like
Yeah.
Right.
Are we all STEM? Are you considered STEM?
yeah, I see
Right?
like consider STEM.
Technology.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
I
that whole
guess
thing.
Yeah. So that might be a thing.
Yeah, most people who I know who are in STEM also kind of approach it that way.
Mhm.
It's just like, it's not that hard. It's like just something, it's like just a
Busy work.
Yeah.
Just an annoying thing, like, you have
Sounds
to do.
awful as it
Yeah.
sounds.
So-
Oh
But
well.
What kind of gen eds do you think could be, or what would you like to see? Like, if we don't have these overall like broad-reaching gen eds, is there something that could be more catered to STEM that would make more sense? Like, I don't know, history of science or something? Would that be a better class to take for us?
I mean, I feel like if you're if you're going to do med school, history of science is really helpful for something like that. Yeah, I feel like they could have gen eds specifically tailored to your major,
Mhm.
so that it kind of helps you
Yeah.
without being too much of what you're already learning in class.
Yeah.
In other classrooms. So.
Right, yeah.
I was thinking that, and then I was also thinking, like, I think you definitely need to have people experience, like, different disciplines, because, like, college is the one time where you're supposed to, like, broaden your horizons and, like, figure out, maybe, like, you went in thinking this, but in actuality, like, you want to do a 360 with your major. And so I think that, in that sense, like, gen eds are very important, but I think that, like, the problem with gen eds is I think people also keep them until, like, I think they should be focused, like, your freshman year, because that's the time when you're, like, coming in, and if you have gen eds, like, further down the road, and you figure out that, oh, like, I really like this course, maybe I want to major in it, it might be too late, and then, like,
Right.
you're just stuck with this course that you really want to pursue, but you don't want to switch your major so late in the game. So, like, my solution was to, like, keep them, but maybe, like, concentrate them in one, like, year, or, like, before you declare your major, basically. So,
Yeah.
like, focus them in freshman and sophomore year, something like
I think that would be beneficial because also, like, in your last 2 years, it's when it gets hardest.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
just don't want to
Right.
be bogged down with stuff that you don't really care about.
Right,
So that'd probably be
exactly.
helpful.
Yeah.
And a lot of people come out of high school not really knowing what they want to do.
Yeah.
I guess I got lucky. I never changed my major. I'm a senior, so I was able to stay with chemistry the whole entire time. But I know my one friend, he switched probably 5 times in his
Yeah.
first like 3 semesters. So
Wow.
he kind of kept on bouncing around with different stuff in different colleges and everything.
Mhm.
So it probably would have helped to some degree for some people to be able to get a more expansive, set of courses their first couple years to see if even the college that they were in was right for them.
Yeah.
And at least I had a lot of science courses in my first year, and not a whole lot of gen ed, so I wasn't really able to get that broad of a range of courses.
Yeah. And I was just, like, reading over the different, like, viewpoints so we could figure out, like, the best solution for this, because, like you said, there were 2, like, stances, I guess, and, like, the students don't want to do it, or they don't like gen eds because, like, they want to take specialized classes, but that's kind of going, like, in the opposite of what we're talking about. And then professors don't like it because, like, the students who take their courses aren't really putting their full effort in, like we were talking about.
Right.
But then the flip side is that the Senate, so, like, there's, I guess, 2 groups. Well, there's 3 groups, but, like, 2 sides. And then the other side is saying that the general education credits are making a person like better and more well-rounded. And so I think that it would be really hard to have students really interested in their courses if it's in the first 2 years. Like, I don't think the interests of students are going to change, like, for gen eds, just because, like, I feel like that's just, people are always gonna say, oh, like, this isn't related to what I need, I'm not gonna try as hard. And so I think coming up with a solution for that might be a little bit hard, but based on what we've talked about, I think we might be able to come up with like a pretty good solution. Sorry if that was like awkward input, I just wanted to follow the steps, so, yeah.
Let's separate it.
Yeah,
just
ask
Get on
some
the back.
question.
Let's see.
Like it all worked out.
I'm trying to find that on that. I think we
Yeah.
might have skipped like part of one.
No, we did, I like have been side glancing, we've been doing good, yeah. We did criteria. We did viewpoints. Yeah, so I think, can you actually, like, do we have any other solutions? Is it like,
So pretty much all we have right now is having everything concentrated in the beginning.
okay,
We've discussed basically what everyone's personal experiences with gen eds
Mhm.
and what they think about how it's affected them, but not really
okay,
possible solutions yet, so we're
Okay.
not gonna go into that some more.
we're like halfway through.
Not bad.
Yeah, that's actually not bad at all.
Okay, so
So-
I guess if we were to like solve this problem and say, you know, let's keep general education as broad as possible, then I think we definitely have a decent solution and just kind of front-loading everything that we were talking about.
Mhm.
If we were to do, or if we wanted to do something like more specialized, I know I asked Sari, like, what would you want to see?
Mhm.
But have you come across any courses that aren't in your major, but that seemed really interesting? Because I know I have been crossing a lot with bio, obviously, for medicine.
Mhm.
And like a lot of the upper level biology courses seem really interesting, and I kind of wish I could take them, but A, I don't have enough room like in my major to do that, and B, there are a lot of prereqs.
Mm.
So in order to kind of take some of these more interesting classes, you have to take 2 or 3 other classes just to be able to take a seat in that. So do you think some of those classes should maybe be more accessible to lower, or I guess without all those prereqs necessary? Or do you think that maybe like majors shouldn't be as rigorous maybe, and
Mm.
maybe require fewer credits in the actual major or
Mhm.
department, so that you can kind of branch out into different departments in different classes?
Well, I think in that case, it's kind of specific, like, maybe like for computer science, obviously you need to know the code, maybe to do an upper level class, but maybe for English, not so much, I don't know, something like that. Like, maybe psychology, it's really just kind of that class is just kind of, it doesn't have that many prerequisites, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, some are obviously gonna need to be based on others, but some that might just be kind of standalone classes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I mean, the ones I guess there were a few that were standalone, but the more specific ones, I guess.
Like I know for one of my SRA courses, it was about terrorism, and you needed like a previous SRA course to take it, but it was kind of just its own separate thing. It didn't really tie in anything. Like, so I mean, there could be more like I guess discretion about that. Like, there was really no need for you to take the previous course.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it would also might be interesting if, like, well, obviously there's BMB, but like, having maybe some courses in other majors that kind of like connect to your major. I know that's like kind of sounds unrealistic because, you know, you only have so many professors and they have their specialties and whatever, but like, I would like it if there were, you know, like some biology-based chemistry course that wasn't too crazy, but like I like chemistry, it's just, you know, like sometimes there's a lot of stuff there that I don't know about and it can get
Right.
complicated.
It's
But
kind of like you don't want to have to go through all the detail. You kind of
Yeah.
just want to gain an understanding of like what's happening. I think
Right.
that's like a better idea of what general education would be.
Yeah.
So that you can like, describe something not in like all of the glorious detail and maybe
Mhm.
like not solve the problems that, you know, the actual professionals in that field are solving, but just so that you can communicate on a basic level and understand what's going on.
Yeah, and that's what, like, that's the goal of general education. It's just, like, to be able to communicate with more people. So if you have, like, that knowledge, I feel like it would be easier.
Right.
It's just, you know, like, realistically,
Mhm.
it's hard to do.
I guess for some professors, it could also be difficult to kind of take a step back and describe what they do in that general detail.
Yeah.
Because I know for a lot of people, it's difficult to express what they're doing to people who aren't at all educated in that field.
Yeah.
So that could maybe be a problem with professors not knowing how to teach
Mhm.
a course that's structured like that. But yeah, I definitely agree, like that should be the goal of any general education class,
Yeah.
to just be able to get a better understanding of whatever it is
Mhm.
that you're taking.
Yeah. And then I was also thinking, they had this in my high school. It was like an elective. Like, so in my school, you were required to take a sport, but you could opt out for like a program, I guess. And it wouldn't count as like credits to your degree, but you would get like a certificate at the end. And so it was like, it was on your transcript saying that you completed this course, but it just like wasn't for a grade. And I think that a lot of the times, like, people will pick gen eds because it's like the easy course. And so if you had maybe, you know, like a course like that where it's not for credit, but you still get like some understanding of the material, and, you know, like, you're not going to be graded on how well you do, but rather how much like effort you put in. Like, I could see a gen ed being graded on like your effort in the class, because, you know, like, if you're trying to be a more understanding individual, like that should be like, you should get an A.
Or sort of like the have you improved over the course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my favorite kind of teacher. But yeah, like that kind of grade, as opposed to like with sciences and with engineering, I'm sure like you have to know your stuff, or else things could go wrong, and, you know, that would be terrible. But with gen eds, you're just trying to like paint a broader picture and get a better understanding, and so I don't think you should be graded per se on that. So another solution might be just like having your gen eds based on either improvement or like how much effort you're putting into the class, and not based on kind of like how much you know, if that makes sense.
Mhm. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's like a really good idea, just because I know that I cram in information like 2 minutes
Yeah.
before a
Yeah.
test just to do well.
Yeah.
But I'm not
Right.
actually taking in
Yeah.
everything. And I think I would enjoy it much more and get a lot more out of it if I could.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
take the
Like for stat, like I'm probably never gonna use that stuff again, and we're just kind of getting through the final right now. So
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like you don't really need to know all the detail that they want you to know. Just having that understanding is much more powerful.
Mm.
Yeah.
So why
And I
worry
feel like-
about testing all that?
Yeah, like you could take away from it what you want. Like
Exactly.
you can apply the information that you gain in whatever way you want to your major, and it would just be more beneficial.
yeah.
And I know, like, when I was touring, I don't remember, like, specifics, but I remember going to either, like, Columbia or, like, somewhere, and they were saying how a lot of students complained about their core curriculums because it was, like, so set in stone, and, like, but I feel like here we have, like, some options, you know, and I think that if we're able to maybe, like, take one of the gen eds that might be seen as harder, but you're really interested in it, like, that would make a better individual rather than just taking it because you saw and rate my professor that it was like an easy A.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because that's what I do.
Yeah.
And I think everyone does that. So yeah.
I do think it would be different though for a school like ours and a school that's a little smaller.
Yeah.
Just because we have so many more options right now.
Right.
So we can like vary them a little bit more, but it might be a little more difficult for, say, a school that has 4,000 students.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we doing solutions?
Well, we kind of mixed them up. We
Okay.
were supposed to do solutions and then do judgment later, but
I guess. I don't know. Like my solution to this would just be gen eds are optional. So like a lot of engineers, a lot of STEM people, I feel like they wouldn't really pick, you know, the general stuff like astronomy, stuff like that, just to get them out of the way. They would pick really classes maybe more related to a major that would actually benefit them and could kind of like expand their. That, in my opinion, would be the real definition of gen ed. Like, it's related to what they do. You get a broader horizon of the overall picture, and it's something you're interested in. So
Yeah.
I feel like that would be really beneficial. And I mean, it still wouldn't be like a fast track through college. You would still have to get those credits, but it would just be, it's not set in stone. You really can pick whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
And you can graduate earlier. If you choose not to take some of them, like, you wouldn't have to take gen eds if you don't want to.
So do you think that the whole, like, being a diverse individual, like, well-rounded person is kind of, like, not holding true? Because, like, people aren't putting the effort into it that even would make them a well-rounded person.
I mean, I get the merit of being well-rounded, but...
In an ideal world, if people actually did care about the
Yeah.
classes.
But there's well-rounded, and there's just stuff that I don't care about.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I don't know, like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, how more well-rounded are you after taking a
Yeah.
class
Yeah.
like astronomy or art history?
Yeah, right. Not very much.
Yeah.
I think that would be a good idea as well. Maybe like, I don't think it would fly with the Senate, but like maybe doing like a minimum of like 10 credits, and then like ranging from 10 to like whatever. Like obviously a lot of people are going to do the
changing
minimum.
requirements.
Yeah.
I mean, that would have like a huge effect on school. Like,
Yeah.
like funding would be everywhere. Like,
Yeah.
like a lot of classes would probably like just disappear. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, there's pros and cons to everything.
Yeah.
You could do like a mix of the two also. You could do less gen ed credits and then you can either take the full amount of gen ed credits or you could take less and then supplement with your major classes. So that way you're still taking a lot of, like,
Okay.
enough classes to graduate.
Yeah.
But you're also, like, you have the option of doing gen eds or more gen eds or stuff that's more related to your major.
Yeah. I just think that, yeah, the 45 seems like a lot of credits.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and like,
it's probably a third of what you take.
Yeah.
yeah, like for me like that's kind of an issue because like I switched majors, and I'm trying to like double or minor in SRA, so that's kind of, I'm like really cramped for time. Like like I really have to take 5 to 6 classes a semester to like graduate on time. So
Yeah.
if I could get rid of some of the gen eds, that would be perfect. Like supplement them, but
Yeah.
I can't. So.
What is SRA?
Security and risk analysis.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of like, IC and SRA are kind of like, they're similar.
Yeah,
They're like in the
just
same
never heard of it.
category.
I didn't realize
yeah.
that was like something completely different, like a whole different college
Yeah.
or something. Or...
IST is more like it's the technical side, like,
Yeah. That's just more of like an application.
and SRA is like security, like
Yeah.
management, like statistical.
Right.
Things,
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
Really?
So maybe if this is like, if that's not a possibility, just eliminating gen ed requirements, it would probably help to just be able to generate interest in gen eds. Do you know if there's any way that you could do that? I can't really think of anything, at least off the top of my head. But if you could generate interest, then people would actually care a little bit about the classes that were being taught, and maybe exert a little effort and try to actually learn more of the course material.
I mean, right now, the only way to really find out about gen eds is either Rate My Professor or the list on whatever website
Yeah.
that is.
Yeah.
So I feel like professors really aren't responsible for like broadcasting their classes, but they could make it more fun, and then it could be like an evaluation site online or something that people could read about it.
Yeah. I was thinking you could do like a top, well obviously those top, like if you broadcast like which ones are the best, and like there's gonna be a fight for them, but like you could do like a, whoever took the class like actually reading them and then figuring out, because I know when reading my professor, it's like, oh, I've heard this is a good course, let me check to make sure, but at least I don't know if there's a way to like see which general education courses are like really interesting or whatnot. And so I think it would be really beneficial if there was just like a website for the general education, whatever. And like every year they showed you kind of like what the previous year thought was like really interesting, and you know, if they thought it was like a really useful class or whatever. And obviously it's going to depend on like, as horrible as this sounds, like if the professor is a bad professor, like no one's going to want to take the class even if the stuff is interesting. So I think that really
Like we said, like professors aren't going to care as much if the students aren't really caring that much.
Yeah.
That's true.
So,
Or you could do it like SRTEs, just have them fill
Yeah.
out like a rate the course.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. And then just use Rate My Professor for like
For the
little
actual
things.
professor.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like
And not for the
result.
course.
the
Yeah.
hotness.
I don't
Chili
understand.
pepper.
I really don't. Well, 30 minutes, guys.
That's quick.
Good job. Okay.
Um,
So,
Do we want to analyze the ones that we have?
yeah, can you read them off?
Yeah. Okay, so have gen eds concentrated in the first 2 years when students are still undecided. Keep general education as broad as possible, or go more specialized for different majors. Make classes more accessible without all the prerequisites. Have less restrictive majors so that you can branch out more. Have courses in other majors that connect to your major. Use them as an elective where you get a certificate at the end. Make gen eds optional. Have less gen ed credits. Have the option of taking all the gen ed credits or less gen ed credits and then supplement with major classes. And then there's just generate interest in gen eds that we have now.
We should have written on the whiteboard. That's what we should
How big
have
would
done.
it be?
Have you ever found the marker?
No.
Alright, well, alright. That's,
Oh, I didn't even realize this was
yeah, we just don't know where the marker is. Okay, well,
I can go through them one by one and we can just talk about
yeah,
them.
that might be easier.
Just go through pros and cons.
Yeah.
Okay, so have the gen eds concentrated in the first 2 years when students are undecided.
I mean, I really can't.
I kind of feel like that's how it is right now.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like completely, but like I feel like students take more gen eds now, like that makes sense. And then like more major classes later. I think that's how it works, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's just, like a lot of the times the gen eds are like specific to their major. So like if we're saying, if we're using the viewpoint, oh, it's supposed to make sure like that you know what you're doing, or like you know this is what you want to do for your whole life, then you should do the gen eds early. Like if you're doing that viewpoint, then that's a good way. But yeah, you're right. It is mostly gen eds the first 2 years anyways.
I think it's also a little difficult to get into some of the better gen eds in your
Yeah.
first 2 semesters, just because they tend to fill up more quickly, obviously, and since under or lower students, whatever you call them, freshmen and sophomores, whatever, schedule so much later, like it's hard for them to get a seat in these classes. But
Okay. So that one might be kind of unreasonable.
Okay.
Notes.
So keep general education as broad as possible.
if you were gonna like front load, then that would make sense. But I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like it is pretty broad. Like, it's not like they're telling you these are the courses you have to take. Like, you have options.
Yeah, there's a whole.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of options. It's just like, it's still so tiresome because you know, it isn't related to what you want to do.
Yeah.
So, I think it might already be broad. It's just like, if we were going with the first approach, it would be better, like you said.
Okay, so
Yeah.
do more specialized for majors. Have gen eds more specialized for your major.
I don't know if that's making more, like a more well-rounded, like, even
Yeah.
though you don't really, like we said, you don't really become a more well-rounded person. You can like, I don't think that your whole college experience should be like one discipline.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess it could offer different perspectives on what you're planning on doing in your career, though, if you were to do that.
Mhm.
Just having like these different courses that they're not necessarily teaching you the same thing. They're just teaching you different ways in which,
Yeah, like
the
maybe,
courses that you're taking.
Yeah, maybe like you branch
can
off to
apply.
something specific because you took a gen ed that was slightly related, and now you want to do that, but it's
Right.
still related to your major. So
Right.
that could be kind of like a discovery thing.
Right,
Mhm.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the only like con for that one is that like, say you're undecided, like you come in undecided, then like what do you do?
Yeah.
So it would be good for people who definitely know what they want to do with their lives, but for undecided, it'd be a little rough.
I just thought of another idea. What if gen eds were just online, and maybe your major courses were like actually a physical class, because there'd be a lot more emphasis on your major courses, but still the gen eds would still be there.
Yeah.
Just since technology has like come so far, I almost feel like there's really no need to have a specific class.
Yeah.
Like the information's out there. It's a gen ed. Like you're not going to major in it, so why not use the technology that's already available?
Yeah.
Right.
The only con would be like the teachers.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it'd be easier for them also,
Yeah.
not having to sit through a class where no one is paying any
Cares.
attention.
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
anything.
But then you also run into the problem if someone's in that class because they don't want it to be, then they're just
Yeah,
gonna
but
do
that's
the
still-
bare minimum.
Exactly.
That's still a problem.
Have their textbook
Yeah.
in front of them
Yeah.
when they're taking the
Yeah.
test.
General education.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
next one.
3 minutes.
Okay, well, that's fine. Make classes more accessible without all the prerequisites.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
Even though that is talking about like more specialized, if it's something you're really interested in, you should be able to pursue it to make you like more informed without the hassle of having all this knowledge that
It would really have to be on like a case by case basis, because like some classes you need to know the stuff before
Yeah.
you go in, but some of them are just kind of, I feel like they're blocked off just because it comes after something, like
yeah.
Mhm.
so. I mean, I would really like that idea.
Yeah, and I guess it kind of ties in with the next, what was the next solution?
Less restricted majors, so you can branch out more.
Oh.
Is that the one you're thinking of?
Maybe not.
I like that one.
There was that.
Courses in other majors that connect to your major? Do you
Never
know?
mind. But it's one.
I mean, that does connect.
Yeah.
Like, it would let you explore a little more tangentially.
Yeah.
I like that one as well. I feel like that's pretty close to that idea as well.
Okay. Then there's the elective option where you get a certificate instead, or you just go for, you're graded on effort and interest rather than how much you actually know.
I really like that idea, but I feel like people will abuse it,
Yeah.
which is so stupid.
My high school kind of, was it high school? No, it wasn't high school. My middle school had that kind
Yeah.
of it was like art, like computer science. That was like you either get like a minus or a plus, or like
Yeah.
a check or something. Like that was just kind of participation.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it would get abused because
Yeah,
it would
if anyone
definitely
has the
People would
option
just-
to not
ugh.
take classes, then
Yeah.
Just
make
why?
that an option
Why
for
can't
the
you
most
just be-
part, but whatever.
Yeah.
No.
It would definitely relieve some stress for people who don't
Yeah.
need the
Yes.
classes, and who are more focused on their major classes. But, oh, and I actually do kind of remember what I was thinking. With the whole like making higher level courses more accessible, that would just go along with like the keeping the general like theme and the overall goal of general education in perspective.
Mhm.
Just getting an actual general education and
Yeah.
like a broad general understanding of some topic, rather than the extreme nuances that all of these kind of specialized courses seem to want you to know.
Yeah.
That's all.
Okay. I guess we have
15 seconds, bonus.
okay.
I think we can run over time.
Yeah.
Okay. So then there's make gen eds optional.
You can't do that. It's just not gonna go. Anyone knows. Now let's get
I
going.
mean, I think the main pro for that is it really lets you focus on your major, and
Mhm.
it could let you get out of school quicker, saving you money. So I think
Yeah.
that's a really huge pro. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
there are the obvious cons.
Yes. I definitely don't think, like, in terms, I feel like a lot of these have been, like, pretty good compromises. That one is just like
That one's kind of an all or nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's not really compromised.
that one.
I guess you could always get those classes at like a community college or something instead, and that would
Yeah.
save you a lot of money.
Mhm.
So that.
As
I
you
mean,
would,
it
a lot of
could
people do,
work,
yeah.
but-
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true, they like do 2 years all the gen eds and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Go
get out Altoona, save money, and then
Mhm.
come here or
Right.
community college.
Yeah. Ugh, great.
Do you wanna go on?
Yeah. I mean, do we have like one more, right?
We have,
Solution?
like 3 more.
3 or 4.
But like 2 of them are kind of like the same.
Okay. Yeah, we might as well go on. I mean,
Okay.
like it's, I know you have tutoring at 5, and it's 4:40 right now. So
It's fine.
okay.
Okay,
Great.
so we'll just go through them all and then end it. So less gen ed credits.
I think we would be able to do that even with these. Like, I think that you can combine that with like more broader, like.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that's really
it should
a
just-
really feasible solution. Like,
Yeah.
that could really easily be implemented.
Uh-huh, yeah.
Yeah, we would just need to decide what gen ed credits would be
Yeah.
removed and what would be
Right.
kept. And then there's the option of having, you can either take all the gen ed credits or take less gen ed credits and then supplement with major classes.
I feel like that's more specific. Like if you want a double major,
Yeah.
have a minor, that would be really helpful.
Yeah.
I would like that, but for like an average student who just wants to, do the one major, I feel like that's not as applicable.
Yeah.
Generate interest in gen eds.
I don't know that one. I
I
don't know
mean,
how.
it's not really a solution, it's just like, there should be
Yeah.
interest
Okay.
on
That
it,
just
and
should
there
be
just
something
isn't.
that happens.
Okay, and then make gen eds online only, which we pretty much already talked about, unless you
Yeah.
want to go into it more.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's all of our
support that.
options.
Cool. Does anyone?
Final comments?
Yeah. We have to make one. What is the best solution we can all support?
Well, there's less gen ed credits, which was pretty popular.
That one, I think we can all.
I think that's the
Everyone can support that.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something we can do. And then,
Um,
I think it's most practical too.
yeah.
So what credits would we remove if we were to do that?
I don't-
The knowledge domain is the biggest one, and I
Yeah.
feel like that's the biggest, kind of, that's the most broad, so, you take in history, maybe like, astronomy, something like that, something you're really not interested in, so I
Yeah.
feel like it would come from there, if anything.
Yeah.
Which one is gym under? I
Knowledge.
feel like that's not really necessary.
Yeah, why do you need-
Yeah.
You're in college, you can
That's
go
like
for a
fun.
walk around the block.
My friend took the walking class, like.
I've heard that's rough.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
Really?
Like you have to walk really fast.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
really?
she's limbs or something.
Oh my gosh. So maybe, yeah. Maybe we can just X-nay that. How
Yeah.
Yeah, but I know, isn't there like a 369, something like
Yeah,
that?
my
Yeah.
friend's doing
Yeah.
that.
Like for the art, but like you can
I don't
just
know
do
how that
3 of
works.
each, and that's cuts that down,
Yeah.
right? And then you're still getting like exposure to it, and you can pick something that you
Mhm.
like, but you don't need like all of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, the health and physical activity can actually just be replaced with a sport that you do, like if you like to
Like
exercise,
club,
like a
intramural,
club
yeah.
thing. Like you can require like one
Yeah.
semester of being an intramural or
And
club.
I
or
feel like that would actually be better because then you'd meet people.
Yeah.
It'd be better for your social life and everything
Yeah.
like that too.
And, yeah, again, it's not like high school, like, it shouldn't really require you to do that.
Yeah.
Like, college, you're a more well-rounded person, like.
You're an adult.
Yeah,
Come
exactly.
on,
Like,
let's-
you can pick your own.
You can exercise.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that would be really feasible, so we can definitely agree on that, and then, what are we saying? The other one? Or are we just thinking that that's our solution? I don't know,
I
actually.
feel like that's a pretty quick
I
way to do
know.
that. I'm gonna raffle them off again, and we can
Mhm.
just choose
Yeah.
who does. There's, oh no, it's a little messy. Okay, had gen eds concentrated in the first 2 years, which we kind of said was already how it was.
Yeah.
Keep general education as broad as possible. Again, kind of how it already is. Something more specialized.
Okay.
Make classes more accessible without all the prereqs, which is popular too. Less restrictive major so you can branch out more. The elective with a certificate. Gen ed's optional, which you said was not possible. Less gen ed credits. And make gen ed online only.
Okay. So should we do like a vote for best? That's consensus, right? I don't even know. Consensus is
Consensus, we all agree on one.
Consensus, yeah.
Okay. So then all of
Eventually.
us.
Does everyone want to give like their top 2?
Yeah. I like the less restrictive major, and I like the courses that overlap. That's one of them, right? Like
Oh, okay.
Those are pretty, yeah.
they're pretty much the same, which is what I
I like, yeah, I like the, just getting rid of some of them, like some gen eds, and, less restrictive classes, like.
Oh, like
You don't
the
need a
prereq thing?
yeah, that was one of them, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I also like the less restrictive, and I also like the kind of overlapping
Yeah.
between majors and departments.
think. Your opinion?
I like the less gen eds, and I like the overlapping.
Okay, so that sounds like consensus.
Okay, so less restrictive and overlapping, less gen eds, less prereqs, less restrictive, overlapping, less gen eds, overlapping.
I thought we were
Choose yours.
actually doing less restrict. I thought that was like something we were definitely doing.
Okay.
But maybe I misunderstood what was happening.
I think less restrictive is pretty much like fewer prereqs. I think
Yeah.
that was the
Yeah.
general
So it's the
idea.
same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I definitely vote for that one, and
Yeah.
then I think the broad.
Okay. So then are we choosing less restrictive, or less prereqs, or?
I feel like
less
can't you do
gen eds?
both?
I would
Or
choose
no?
I mean,
multiple,
yeah.
like combine
Right?
them.
You
Sounds
can
like
just
us,
like
yeah.
that's on the sheet. I feel like I feel like that would be like the easiest way to combine two of our best ideas.
Okay. So it's less restrictive and less gen eds.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
And I think everyone would be happy with that.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
I don't see, yeah.
If
what-
you're thinking
well,
that
you
you
know,
actually want to take, and you want to take as many.
Yeah.
people always
Sounds like a win-win.
want to argue though. Okay.
Okay. So I can type all this up nice and pretty and send it to you guys. So we can
Cool.
discuss it later, or you can write
Cool.
about it.
Sounds good.
Are we good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you wanna-
Like in,
This is nice.